today we are just going to review how to do two types of factoring. One is factoring by GCF and one is factoring by grouping. When you get a problem, the first thing you should always ask yourself is, can I factor by GCF? This particular problem has two terms, and yes, we look, there is a GCF. There is a factor that goes into both terms. So we ask ourselves, what number goes into 15 and 10? That's 5. What variable is found in k squared and k? Just k. Then we put the parentheses up, and we ask, what is it that I need to multiply 5k by in order to get 15k squared? That's 3k. If I multiply 5 times 3, it's 15. K times k, it's k squared. Put my plus sign. What do I need to multiply 5k by in order to get 10k? Just 2. Let's try another one. Can I factor this by GCF? Yes, I can. There is a number that goes into both of these terms. 4 goes into 16 and 12. I look at the variables next. What variables go into n cubed and n squared? N squared, of course. What's left in the parentheses? What do I need to multiply 4n squared by in order to get 16n cubed? I'll need a 4. There we go. And I need an n. What do I need to multiply 4n squared by in order to get 12n squared? 3. I could check it with a box. If I multiply 4n squared by 4n plus 3, do I end up with what I started with? I do. If you have 3 terms, you still need to find a common factor that goes into all 3 terms. So let's look and see. First, I look at the number part. What number goes into all 3 of those? Let's say I choose 4. 4 goes into all 3. What variable goes into all 3? There isn't a variable here, so there's no variable as part of my GCF. Okay. I go ahead and multiply. I get 4x cubed plus 4x plus 2. And when I multiply, I end up with what I started with. But I realize something. If I look inside the parentheses, I see that there's still another number which goes into all 3 terms. I have not factored completely yet. I need to take another 2 out. I'm going to take a 2 out from inside the parentheses and multiply it by this 4. Now I think, what do I need to multiply 8 by to get 16x squared? I mean x cubed. What do I need to multiply 8 by in order to get 16x? What do I need to multiply 8 by in order to get 1? I mean, in order to get 8. It's just 1. This is factoring by GCF. This type of problem has 4 terms, which makes us think right away that maybe I need to factor by grouping. I look at every single term first, because the first step is always to ask, is there a GCF? There isn't a single number that goes into 40, 35, 32, and 28, so there's no GCF. We'll just go straight to factoring by grouping. 4 terms, that means I make a box. The term with the highest degree, that's the highest exponent number, goes in the top left. And the term with the lowest degree, that means no exponent at all in this case, goes in the bottom right. It doesn't matter on these middle terms where you put them. I'll put mine here. Okay. Next step is to factor the GCF out of every row and out of every column. Instead of doing GCF for the whole polynomial at once, we're grouping them into twos. So the GCF of this column would be 8a. The GCF of this column is going to be 7. And I look, the sign of my factor needs to match the sign of the closest box. Going up here, I need a 5, and I've got a squared. Going up, let's see, the greatest common factor of 32 and 28. I know 4 goes into both. Okay. This is positive, so this is positive. We don't worry about the negatives that are far away. So let's double check. Does 8a times 5a squared equal 40a cubed? Yes, it does. 8a times 4 is 32a, that's good. 7 times 5a squared is negative 35a squared. Negative 7 times 4 is negative 28. Works out well. So here's our answers. 8a minus 7 times